More people line up at testing hubs as the number of people experiencing COVID-19 symptoms increases. The demand for self-testing kits is also on the rise, but the health department says self-administered antigen tests have yet to be approved in the Philippines. The country is also in need of contact tracers, as those working for the Interior Department have reached the end of their contract. News 5 exclusive. One of Gwyneth Chua's friends speaks up and tells what happened the night Poblacion girl breached her quarantine. And it's the end of an era. BlackBerry pulls the plug on its classic phones. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Starting today's newscast with an increasing demand for COVID-19 tests. This as more and more people are feeling the symptoms of the coronavirus disease. But it looks like the country's current testing capacity just can't keep up with the demand. Mobile journalist Matthew Perez gives us the front seat to this story.
Post-holiday season, there has been an increase in those experiencing COVID-19 symptoms. Some self-medicate and isolate, while others decided to get tested. Long queues and dwindling supplies for paracetamol, however, have also been a problem for many. But experts say that self-medication isn't the best way to go.
Kailangan natin magpa-test.
With this, several LGUs have been offering free antigen swab tests, just like in District 1 in Quezon City. The service is available even for non-residents. Based on the district's numbers, over 100 people have themselves tested per day.
Marami nagpapaswab po dahil unang-una may mga simptomas po yung mga nagre-report po sa atin. Pangalawa, may mga close contact po sila ng known positive patients.
Here at the Amoranto Stadium, 60 people got tested on Wednesday. Close to half tested positive. According to CO, an RT-PCR test is no longer required once you test positive through the antigen test. You must also directly undergo quarantine. While for those who tested negative but are showing symptoms, they must undergo an RT-PCR test again. Some hospitals, like the Chinese General Hospital, are offering RT-PCR tests. But like other hospitals, they're also seeing long lines waiting to avail of this service. Because of this, CGH has set a cutoff of 300 people a day for those who are using their PhilHealth insurance. As for those willing to pay around 3,000 pesos, the service is available 24/7. So what's the main takeaway from this? Do not ignore your symptoms even if they are mild. It's still better to have yourself tested to find out what to do. And through this, you not only protect yourself, but also your family and the community. This is mobile journalist Matthew Perez, and we are One News.
Despite the rising COVID-19 case count in the country, the Octa Research Group believes that our numbers are still understated. In an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, Octa's Guido David explained that many Filipinos are opting to self-test or undergo antigen tests due to its price and quicker turnaround. And because of this, David says that our current COVID data is underestimated.
How much underestimated? Actually, hindi natin masasabi, pero doon sa isang search natin noong March, it seems likely na the actual number was 5 times higher than yung ilan yung nakita natin eh. Sa ngayon, it's possible na it's even higher than 5 times eh. Pero hindi natin masasabi yan ngayon. We can't even give a range dahil posibleng napakalaki ng range.
Some Filipinos are now turning to self-testing using antigen kits as queues for RT-PCR tests gets longer. But officials believe rolling out these kits could be the more practical alternative to mass testing. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez gives us the front seat to this story.
Ever since 35-year-old cameraman Robert San Pedro caught COVID in March, he has been big on self-testing using rapid antigen kits.
Whenever I feel na parang feeling ko na-expose ako, parang nagkaroon ako ng konting symptoms, medyo inuubo or sinisipon ako. Talagang on my own, nagtetest ako.
With the sudden rapid surge in COVID cases in Metro Manila, self-test kits have been a lifeline for people like Robert. Dozens of buy and sell ads can be found online, some with prices jacked up. Technically, these self-test kits have not been approved yet by the government. However, Baguio Mayor and Contact Tracing Czar Benjamin Magalong thinks it's time to roll them out. Magalong said this is a cheaper and faster alternative to mass testing.
Itong antigen, some people can afford to buy antigen tests. Sa Baguio City, where we will be selling it at 250 pesos.
Although they're pretty easy to use, infectious disease specialists stress that rapid tests have limitations.
When you have symptoms and you turn out negative, mataas ang posibilidad na false negative po siya.
Rapid tests work best when you're symptomatic because by then, you will have high viral loads that can be easily detected by the kit. If you use a rapid test within 1 to 2 days of infection, scientists say there's a high chance the test will give you a false negative. Still, many other countries around the world have begun using rapid tests as part of their tool to screen for cases faster. IATF testing czar Vince Dizon said they're still studying whether to allow these.
Halos 2 taon na nating pinagdadaanan, tingin ko. Importante din po na i-consider natin ang maigi yan.
Magalong said Baguio City is set to introduce the home testing method to residents this week. The city closed its borders to tourists again last week amid the jump in infections. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
Though some officials are open to the idea of rolling out self-antigen tests, the health department warns these kits could be misused. On One News' The Big Story, health spokesperson Maria Rosario Vergere reminds the public that the FDA has yet to register COVID-19 antigen test kits that can be self-administered. She says the only antigen tests available in the market can only be used under the administration or guidance of health professionals. Vergere warns that the public could get misleading results through incorrect ways of collecting their own specimen. And for now, the health department encourages the public to self-isolate if they cannot get tested by health professionals immediately.
It should be guided by healthcare professionals. So kailangan lang po natin ma-differentiate yan. A lot of people are doing this at home and you might be misled by your results because hindi po naging maayos ang proseso natin ng pagkuha ng specimen. So ang atin pong babala lang, there can be misuse of these antigen test kits and there can be misinterpretation of the results which can lead to more issues for us.
LGUs may have to hire their own contact tracers soon, as those with contracts under the DILG have expired. Contact Tracing czar Benjamin Magalong also says that they have yet to secure funds for the next batch of contact tracers. Mobile journalist Chico Blazo gives us the front seat of the story.
Just as the country teeters into an Omicron-driven surge, there's more problem. The contracts of around 15,000 contact tracers of the Department of Interior and local government has expired, leaving a gaping hole in the country's contact tracing efforts. To make things worse, Contact Tracing czar Benjamin Magalong says they won't know if they will have the funds to renew the contracts.
Ang sabi sa akin ng DILG kanina, malamang siguro baka sa February pa o sa considering the fact that we still have to get the funds from DBM.
But with no funding, Magalong says, LGUs will just have to hire their own contact tracers for the meantime.
Kaya lang, sino naman na magtatrabaho kung alam niyang wala pang sweldo? Unless magbo-volunteer sila.
That's exactly what happened to contact tracer Edgar Sarmiento, who now works only as a volunteer.
Para makatulong na rin sa bayan. Kasi kung hindi namin gagawin to, mas lalong dadami po talaga yung
Tracers like Sarmiento are now working every day without compensation in hopes that they will be rehired. Erratic funding of contact tracers has been hobbling the effort since last year. Magalong says he finds the bureaucracy frustrating.
Yung laging in-emphasize natin, a sense of urgency, but unfortunately, kung minsan hindi na-observe.
And for Sarmiento, on the ground, it's deja vu.
Minsan nga po, hindi na po namin na-accommodate yung mga nire-report ni barangay. Sa dami na rin po kasi nung hindi naman po namin kayang pagsabay-sabay na rin minsan.
Mayor Magalong is hoping that volunteers will keep the contact tracing effort going. But for Sarmiento, even volunteerism has its limits.
Paano yung kakainin ng pamilya mo? Kung kaya pa ng budget,
magpo-volunteer pa. Pero pag hindi na talagang hihinto na.
Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, we are One News.
One of the attendees of the controversial party in Makati says Poblacion girl Gwyneth Chua was not invited to their dinner. Carlos Laurel says he knew Chua as just a girlfriend of a friend, and he added that they didn't know that they would attend since the boyfriend did not confirm at all. He also said that they learned that Chua was COVID positive 4 days after their dinner, and only then they find out that she broke quarantine protocols. Laurel added that they're now cooperating with authorities as they investigate the incident.
She is the girlfriend of one of the friends of my younger cousins. So none of us personally invited Poblacion girl. Why would anyone assume that people wouldn't serve the quarantine since that's the standard protocol?
Before the Apple iPhones and the Samsung Galaxies, there was BlackBerry. However, BlackBerry has now stopped all software support for their devices, officially marking the end of an era. This just means that the devices will no longer reliably function, making these obsolete. From the 2000s to the early 2010s, BlackBerry dominated the phone market. But with the introduction of new smartphones, users made the switch, leaving the company struggling to compete in the market. But this doesn't mean BlackBerry users can't be sentimental, and who can forget the BlackBerry Messenger? For kids nowadays, hearing the phrase BBM me may mean a different thing. And for those who had their hands on a BlackBerry, they know exactly what that means. Here are the stories to watch out for later today. Vaccinations in some cities in Metro Manila this Thursday will focus on senior citizens. And Pag-asa warns of a looming water crisis in Metro Manila and nearby provinces. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News. Kape. See you later, boss.
Okay, see you, bro.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Morning po, Sir Benji.